Tonight we have a very special segment and we're taking focus on matters politics, and of course we're looking at things on regional politics. And tonight it's an interview where we're going to have two special guests, Omondi Owuor, who is the chairman of Luo Agenda, and of course there's also John Odenyo, who is from the Luo Alternative Voice. So without wasting any time, let's go straight into that. How are you, gentlemen?
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Yes.
It's
really a pleasure to have you in our studios tonight.
Yes, thanks a lot.
Well, I'll start with you, Omondi Owuor.
Yes.
So you are the chairman of the Luo Agenda.
Yes, of course.
Maybe you could tell us, what is the Luo Agenda about?
The Luo Agenda, in a nutshell, actually is a grouping of like-minded young Luos who seek to analyze the Luo status and the resources that exist, why we are the way we are, and what is not happening, why aren't we utilizing what we have to become better. So we are analyzing that and proposing solutions, and then involving the people themselves to provide those solutions by themselves, through themselves.
Well, very well. That's a brief introduction right there by Owuor. Again, John Odenyo, what is the Luo Nation Alternative Voice about?
The Luo Nation Alternative Voice is a voluntary membership of young progressive Luos who believe in fresh leadership and who have a reason to fight for the deepening of democracy in the Luo Nation.
Okay, all right. So are both of your groups working under the system? Are you separate groups?
Yeah, we operate like, we are multifaceted. Like the Luo Agenda has the socio-economic and socio-political objectives. And now the Luo Nation Alternative Voice picks that and comprehensively deals with it from the grassroots. So basically it's like we are just two faces of the same thing.
Yeah, the goal is the same. We need to deepen democracy because you cannot expect development where we have the freedoms that are stifled and ideas are dismissed, from a political point of view.
You've mentioned democracy. What is your group's definition of democracy?
Democracy is the simplest definition where we have the people determining how they are going to be governed and voting for or electing leaders who are accountable to them. That's what we define democracy to be.
All right, and at this far you appear like you're only focusing on the Nyanza region?
Of course, yes. We are at the moment focusing on the Nyanza region. Yes. Okay,
all right. And what do you have in store for the people from Nyanza?
Oh, good question. I think it's common knowledge nationally that we have a democracy in Nyanza that is not holistic. We have a democracy that exists at the political level, all right? We have what we call negotiated democracy, all right? Where leaders determine to us who we vote for. So what we are saying in the Luo Nation Alternative Voice is that the minority, the people who are a minority and who know what their rights are, okay, are now demanding that they be listened to. Democracy must be real. It must be actual, all right? Leaders must give room for true democracy, deepened democracy, rather than leadership democracy, what we call supremacy, top supremacy, so that leaders believe they determine for us and we follow. All right?
So is this you've talked about leadership supremacy and you're calling for democracy to be taken to the ordinary Mwananchi and not the leadership supremacy. Is this the challenge that the group is about to tackle?
Exactly. That's the biggest challenge we have as the Luo people. Leaders feel they know all. Leaders want to give us the leaders they want. They want us to vote for people they want. It's more of a communist way of governance, which is long gone. It's high time that Luo leaders knew that Luos at the grassroots need the information, are empowered by the Constitution to determine who they vote for, which party to join, all right? Okay, who to support, and all manner of the elements that come with democracy as we are empowered in our constitution.
Oh yeah, as of right now, you've been faced with a lot of challenges and as well resistance, yes, especially with the recent case in CIA.
Yes.
So how are you handling this?
Yeah, in the actual sense, maybe going back to what he has said, when we talk about democracy, in the actual sense, we connect, there is that nexus between the development and politics. Actually, why do we elect leaders? We elect leaders to articulate some policies that captures the aspirations of the people. Meaning, if I do an election and I elect a leader, there's something I expect in return, not handouts, but this person formulating some long-term policy that will address my plight as the person who elects. Now, when this fails, simply because there is a disconnect between me and that person where I'm not the determinant, then I cannot hold that person accountable. Then this affects development. Then we use again that underdevelopment to antagonize, to create an antagonism. Our relationship with others become antagonistic, where we feel if you drive a Toyota and I ride a bicycle, I feel you are driving that Toyota. That is why I'm riding a bicycle. No one wants me to face the reality of what I have, what I can do to also drive a Toyota. So we shift our goals, and that negates the whole essence of democracy. The challenges we receive are based on a long period of being used to a particular gospel. Kenya, if you go to Luo Nation, and yes, if we are focused on that, yes, we do. Because from independence, it's basically the Luo Nation that have stuck with one political system, where we resist change because we defend something that might not benefit me, but it benefits something that maybe I'm holding on at home, where it's something extraordinary. So I'll reject anything that comes to challenge that. Now, when we talk about development, we tend to approach by raising some questions. We thought-provoke. Luo Nyanza was known as an academic powerhouse. How are our schools performing today? What happened? From when? It was our strength. So where did we lose that focus? Then what really happened to make that? The narrative always has been the government.
Well, are you blaming the leadership in Nyanza region for this, crisis?
Yes, technically to an extent, yes, because there's a connection that we can never rule out between development and politics. Maybe to quote the former president, siasa mbaya maisha mbaya.
Precisely.
Okay.
So that is something, and actually that is why we do elections. Otherwise, there's no need. Otherwise, there couldn't be any complaint. The narrative that we are so used to, like people of Nyanza, like them, that is there because there is the political factor. That is why when we deal with this, we can never run away from the political effect, political angle. As much as we want to pay more attention on making these people realize that when you have your hoe, you can farm. Okay. You don't need anything else. So long as God gives the rain, you don't have to blame someone. Go do that.
All right. I just want to ask.
Yes.
You have been quoted as demanding for the resignation of Raila Odinga from active politics. So maybe you could tell us, going by these demands, how do you intend to actualize that?
Well, that's an interesting statement that has been made. Well, we said it. We say that in the circumstances, all right, looking at the current political landscape and the realignments that are taking place in our country, it doesn't seem like the right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga stands any chance. All right, so we are saying that he assumes then the role of a statesman. By so saying, he will be in the background. Being in the background means we will walk to him, seek his advice, okay, follow his advice. All right, that's what we mean. We don't mean that he retires per se, but we say he retires from active politics. That is pretty obvious from the realignments going on in our country right now.
Okay,
the electoral arithmetic, the matrix, the dynamics, difficult for him.
Okay, all right. So at the same time, do you feel you represent the majority of the residents from the region?
Good question. Politically, we are trying to educate the people. The leadership of the Luo Nation politically has, in my opinion, and this I've keenly observed over the years, systematically disempowered the people by disinforming them, all right? You must not know your rights. If you know your rights, you will demand this. Kelvin's has already mentioned that. He alluded to it, all right? Information is power. What happened in SIA, for example? We simply wanted to give the people a broader picture of what's going on and what needs to be done. We were stopped. Goons attacked us. Information was stopped. The people remain as they are. So the status quo remains, that the leadership can provide everything. Okay. The element of the Messiah, we are waiting for the Messiah. Where is this Messiah?
Actually, my question. So, according to you, who is the Messiah? And are you open to leadership from any qualified person? Or do you still hold on to an idea of it has to be people coming from your area to lead the people?
Again, that's why we have the alternative voice. The Luo Nation Alternative voice has one key objective. Let the people know what is required of them. Can we deepen democracy? Can the leadership free us to talk to the people so they can know that democracy allows them to choose who they want, irrespective of tribe, qualification of a leader, okay? The manifesto of our party, rather than the tribe. All right, so we are open. That's where we're going to.
Okay, all right. So why is this happening now as we wind up, we're running out of time? You could tell us, why is this happening now and what is your future? What is the future of this organization among the Luo people?
You've asked him a question and I want to maybe wrap up that about whether it's the voice of majority. You know, we have CDF, we have county governments, and during the time that we were clamoring for this constitution, the people wanted to reduce or to clip the powers of the presidency, give some institutions the powers to do some things, just to do away with that perceived excessive powers that one person held, that is the presidency. Now, we have counties. Now, if you come to our area, the clamor is still the same. No one wants to hold the counties accountable. People are concentrating and everything else is suspended. Development was and everything. Till we get to the presidency. If you go to Nyanza, you get to Kisi. Kisi is within Nyanza region. But Kisi is well developed, very different. They have never been president.
Okay, okay, all right.
Now, when we come to your
we need to wind up. We need to wind up. And well, you've given us that point that was also earlier explained by John. And I want to know, why is this happening now? And what is the future of your system?
Now, it's still time. Why not now?
Okay.
Meaning it can still happen. And it's not just happening now. It's only that now we are here in the media. But we've always been there, out there. And actually, we've gained grounds over the years. There are so many people. We might not be 50-50, but we are close to gaining 50% ground within Luo Nyanza, where people are now aware, and the demand for that right is increasing. The uptake of that right is increasing. So it is not just now, it has been. It's only that we are lucky that we are today here, and we want to keep it here for a longer time. All
right. Now, John, just wind up and tell us, where is the future of your organizations as the active or rather alternative voice of the Luo Nation?
As an alternative voice, we are a democratic membership organization, all right? Democracy allows us to regenerate, think, discuss, share, all right? Going forward, as the Luo Nation, we are trying to broaden our scope of entrance, okay? We want leaders who can listen to us, all right? By so saying, we will welcome anyone, any idea that can come into us, and we can absorb and embrace and move forward. So we are very open.
Okay, okay, all right. Very well, that is the time we had for this discussion. Of course, we would have loved to listen and go on about this, but we're running out of time. Viewers, that has been Omondi Owuor, who is the chairman of the Luo Agenda, and John Odenyo as well, who is the Luo Alternative Voice. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to our studios tonight. It's time now to take a short break. Kindly do not go too far.